walking the East Coast hardcore.
Yay! There goes.
I was like, king of what?
King of
Yeah. So we'll just bring her on up here. So Miss Megan, Managing Director, Regional Support, East Coast Launch Trainer.
Woo! Woo! Oh yeah.
I actually had that jacket packed to make sure I didn't wear it today in case that picture was up there. It's like I can't wear the same thing. All right, so I know it's late in the afternoon. Everybody's eating the M&Ms, the cookies to keep themselves going. So we're going to change it up a little bit. All right, is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to talk about pirates.
Yarr.
Arr! So ahoy, me hearties. Because in pirate lingo, that means hello, my friends. I've done some research on pirate lingo. So I want you to take a little journey with me, and we're going to travel down to the Jersey Shore.
Oh no.
We're going to the East Coast, people.
Yeah.
Going to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just like you see on TV. It's not one of those big crazy parties. I mean, that happens. Don't get me wrong. But about 11 years ago, a very good friend of mine named Tommy, he invited me down to the shore for the weekend because there was something along the Intercoastal. It's called the Small Ships Review. And what happens is all the houses and all the boats, they get decorated to a theme. In this particular year, the theme was pirates. So we walk into this party and all these little kids are running around. They have eye patches on. And he looks at me and he's like, I saw this episode of Mythbusters. Do you want to do an experiment with it? Those of you who know me, I'm always up for anything. I'm like, sure. We put on these eye patches and we wear them all day. And I'm talking all day, all night. All the other adults are looking at us like, what the hell are you two doing? We're like, we're doing an experiment, just let it go. So when it gets dark at night, mind you, we've worn these all day. When it gets dark at night, we walk back to the house where we were staying, and we don't turn any lights on in the house. And we walk back to the very back bedroom where it is completely pitch black, shut the door behind us, and he looks at me and he said, well, I can't even see him actually, I shouldn't say he looks at me. So he goes, Megan, flip your eye patch. So I flip the eye patch, and I stand there in complete awe, because I can see everything in the room. I can see the bed, I can see the dresser, I can see the pictures. Not only can I see the bed, I can see the colors in the fabric. I can see the intricacies of the dresser. I can see the colors on the picture. I can see everything. So to one eye, the room was completely pitch black. But to this eye, color, I could see everything. So let's continue on this journey. And I want to tell you my Polka Dot Powerhouse story. So I have, for the past almost 13 years, had a very successful career in the mortgage lending industry. I was in sales, I was in management, then I moved into having my own office. And to outsiders, my life looked really awesome. So I had this successful career, I have a wonderful husband. At that time, I had only one beautiful child. But there was just a piece of me that was missing, because during the day, I'm boss lady, and at night and weekends, I'm wife and mom. And I was under these two titles, but the place for Megan was missing. If anybody can relate to that, like I just was missing. And my husband and I, he knew this about me. See, my husband is a successful collegiate baseball coach. He's been coaching for the past 13 years. He has loved baseball since he was 2 years old. And so since he was in diapers, he has known his passion, he has lived his passion, he has worked his passion. And I'll be honest, I was really jealous of that. Because I was 35 years old, I didn't know what my passion was, and I felt like all this good stuff is happening in my life, but I was still empty. So then one day, he's actually from Altoona, Wisconsin, for all the Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So he sees something on his Facebook page from a girl he went to high school with, and she was talking about this Polka Dot Powerhouse. So he clicks on it, and he sends me a text, and he goes, hey, I was on this website, they don't have one in Pennsylvania, you should really look at this. So I call the number on the website. I talked to Lydia for about 2 hours. I think Barbara said that earlier. Talked to Lydia, and it just so happens that we were traveling back to Wisconsin to visit my in-laws, and I got to sit down with Shannon. I think I just became a member. I got to have breakfast with Shannon, and it was right there. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. I came back, we launched King of Prussia, and I think we've stemmed 4 chapters in it over in a year in the Pennsylvania, Wilmington, Delaware area. It has just exploded. But what Polka Dot has done for me is it allowed me to tap into who Megan is and come to the forefront. I've been blessed with this energetic spirit. Everybody sees me all over the Facebook land and everywhere, like gosh, you're so high energy. I was blessed with that, but now I can finally share that with people in a way that's giving a positive impact and helping influence other people. Like that, I'm so grateful that you were blessed with the idea and then I was blessed to meet you. So, what the heck does this have to do with collaboration? Talking pirate, talking your story. Well, let's really think about where collaboration starts. What is collaboration? Collaboration is when two or more people connect, create, and produce ideas worth sharing. So a lot of times what happens when people go on one-on-ones, and I'll talk from my perspective. I'm in the mortgage industry. I work with a lot of realtors, financial advisors, accountants. So when I go to do a one-on-one with them, I'm talking about how I can get you more repeat and referral business, and we can do all this together, and we're going to build this big partnership. But what that ends up becoming is networking, and becomes very transactional. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of people do on one-on-ones. But what Polka Dot has opened up, Polka Dot is all about connecting, truly connecting. And what happens is, if you can't collaborate if you don't connect with somebody. So we're going to go back. I have a 4-year-old little daughter. We do a lot of ABCs in the house. So we're going to travel back to elementary school, and we're going to talk about the ABCs. So what are the ABCs? In the Polka Dot land, it is always be connected. So what is this? First off, you need to always be connected to you. You need to be connected to that little voice inside your head and make sure that it's giving you positive feedback. And how does that voice give you positive feedback? You have to hang around positive people, read positive things, listen to positive, motivational, inspirational things. Because you know what? When that little voice is negative, that's really bad. And we've all been there, unless maybe it's just me. That little voice inside your shoulder like, am I good enough? Can I do this? Is this really for me? You have to get that out of there because it is. You wouldn't be here if this wasn't for you. So you always have to be connected to you. The second is you always have to be connected to the moment. Now let's talk about this one for a second. So have you ever been somewhere where your body is there physically, but your mind is totally somewhere else? Everyone's like, yes. And you might be doing that right now. Bring it back in. Stick with me here. But as women, we spin a lot of plates. Would you agree? Even let's say getting here this weekend. How many people you get here like, okay, I have to get a 5-day work week into 3 days. Into 3 days. I want to make sure that my family, my husband, my 2 kids, that they have dinner, there's food things, and everything's packed, but I also have to return these emails, I got to meet with this person, I got to do this. So did your week look a little bit like this when we talk about spinning plates? Not only were you spinning plates, you have the weight of other people on your shoulders and your head spinning plates. So by a show of spinning plates, does anybody relate to that? Okay. Spin the plates. Exactly. We all do. So how are you supposed to be connected to a moment if all you're thinking about is over here? You're sitting there and you're talking to someone, you're having a one-on-one, you're like, okay, so your mind is saying, as soon as I leave here, I need to call that person back. Then I gotta go pick up the dry cleaning because I gotta get my daughter to dance for that time. That's what's going on in our mind. So I really challenge you for the rest of today, tomorrow, Saturday, be present to the moment. Be present to the moment when you're talking to somebody and you're interacting. Be present to the sessions that are going on. There's so much great content and material that we're going to cover, and we already covered, and is yet to come. Be present to that. Get it ingrained in you. So when you're connected to yourself and you're connected to the moment, now you're truly in a position to connect to a person. Because when you're there, you can connect to their heart, you can connect to their passion and to their dreams, and this is where collaboration really begins. See, collaboration begins with us as a leadership. Collaboration begins with us as the leadership team. We have to do the one-on-ones. We have to be leading by example and doing phone calls and reaching out to our members. Now I'm going to share a very pointed story of something that happened to me early on with my chapter and being a managing director. I was doing a one-on-one with an individual, and she says, Megan, I'd really love for you to try my product for 3 days. Sure, I want to support you and your product, like absolutely. So I do a trial of her product, and I have a lot of followers on Facebook, so I post a picture of me enjoying this product, and a lot of people liked the picture. And everybody that liked it, she then reached out to and tried to
I
sell
got
the
one of
product.
them.
No.
She tried to sell the product. Well, it's actually Barbara and a few other people reached out to me and says, Megan, I just want you to know what's happening in your chapter. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like this was not my intention of doing that. But it comes down to where Catherine, having those difficult conversations, I had to find a way to then call her and say, what you're doing isn't right. So I had to think about it, I marinated on it, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? So I call her up and I said, hey, if you really want to be serious about growing your business, I have a suggestion for you. So I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine who is a very sought after coach in the network marketing, direct sales industry. So I connected these two, and what happened from there is her business skyrocketed because she was now trained on how to have customers coming to her versus her chasing customers and clients. And I've watched her business skyrocket. She is forever grateful for me for approaching her and explaining that and connecting her to this person. But the lesson that I learned there was so powerful to me because as a leadership team, it is not about promoting the products of our membership. It is about promoting the personal and professional growth of our membership. And ever since, and I'm not saying don't buy products from your members. If it fits for you and fits your lifestyle, absolutely purchase things, but don't think that you have to buy every single product that your membership sells. I had an MD say that to me once. Well, doesn't it get expensive being a managing director? You gotta buy everything. I'm like, what are you talking about? But it's true, but I'm just saying this for new managing directors out there, don't feel that you have to do that. Because as long as you can find a way to support them personally and professionally, they will get the value out of that. Because sometimes the value that they get from the meeting doesn't have to be money in the bank. It's helping them grow is what actually is more meaningful. So this is the big, I'm going to take a sip here real quick. This is the big topic that I said, oh, I'm going to talk about this later, I'll talk about this later. This is the connection slip that we use for our region. I'll give it out. Shout out to Jessica Barnett because she changed it up, made it look pretty, gave it some colors. The connection slip we use. How many people or managing directors or the leadership teams that send these out have time to follow up with all of the connects that are happening? Exactly. You're like, Denise, you're like, what do you mean follow up with something? Yeah. So here's what's happening in our chapter. I would hear people say, I reached out to this person, they didn't reach back out to me. They wrote down they wanted to connect with me, I didn't hear back from them. And I was starting to hear this, and I had this moment of we can't have that. I can't have that because it's going to get a bad taste in somebody's mouth, and that is not what Polka Dot is about. So I realized I had to find a way to police this, but in a positive way. So I came up with the connection coach. The connection coach is the person that then sends out all of these emails and follows up to see if the connects are happening, which has been really good because the collaboration portion of our meeting in King of Prussia sometimes runs 30 minutes. I have to shorten other parts of the meeting and it's just going back and forth, and sometimes I'm brought to tears because it is literally so powerful in that room. But what happens is when there's guests in that room and they see that completely eliminates what do I get out of Polka Dot? Why do I have to pay $299 or $249? If your collaborations are happening, you will convert a lot of guests in the room if people are talking about all those collaborations. Yes, go ahead.
So did you say when you collect all of those at the end, you have one person then disperse them via email?
Via email, so
whatever,
she will email, after the meeting, like the next day, she will email them out and she'll say, hey, Jessica Barnett really wanted to connect with you. Here is her contact information. Here it goes. Please let me know when you guys schedule your connect or are able to talk. And if it doesn't happen and she doesn't reach back out to you, please let me know. So they'll let Carol, who's the person that does it, they'll let Carol know. And if the connects aren't happening or that person's not responding, and they might be on vacation or things might happen, that's fine. But if it's not happening and it's a consistent thing, then Carol's going to reach out to that person, or I will, and say, hey, we want you to get the most out of your Polka Dot membership, and here's how it is. We have to connect outside the meetings, because here's what I've realized. The meetings is where the energy is, and that is where everybody meets each other and it's all fun. But the substance of that meeting is outside when everybody is having those connects. And I'm sure you're doing this, but something that's really big too, when they're having those connects outside the meeting, tell them to post about it. Tell them to do a video. Like, that's really, when they see all that kind of stuff going on, oh, I just connected with this person, connected with this person. There's, in King of Prussia area, there's a Panera Bread kind of right in the main area of town. And we call it our dot office, because at any given time, you walk in there are 2 dots in there connecting.
It's so true. I walked in there, like, the second meeting, I walked in there to meet with Sandy Fine, and Megan was sitting there, and I'm like, hey! And then somebody else walked in, we're like, hey! And like, the hour before the meeting.
Yeah, it is. So in my opinion, connection slip, this part of the meeting is the most powerful part of your meeting. It really is. So, what does collaboration look like? Looks like these two. So maybe it's not coming up as a video, or here it is. Where's the mouse? There we go. Does it come up here, Funkster? All right, this is supposed to be a video.
It's not looking like a video.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, that's
Upside down. All right, I'm not trying to make people sick.
Take a photo with that.
All right, next slide. Anyway, maybe I'll block it. So I'm sure every chapter has a lot of life coaches, business coaches, whatever it may be, right? So our chapter has 6 coaches. And 3 of those coaches decided, we're doing one-on-ones, that they didn't want to compete against each other, that they wanted to collaborate. So what they did was they created a multi-series workshop that really brought in all of their strengths, their knowledge, their experiences, and now they go throughout the city and the suburbs, and they have this workshop that they were doing, and it got such big praise, they're doing it a second time around. So it really shows the collaboration that they got from one-on-ones. I don't know why it went upside down. That was interesting. So another program that I want to talk about, come on, stop talking. So as I said, being in the mortgage industry, I meet with a lot of realtors. So a new realtor came into our chapter and I asked her out to lunch. So her and I are having lunch and I said, who do you like to work with? Like, who's really your clientele? And she said, divorcee women. And I said, me too. In the mortgage industry, I've always worked with divorcee women. And I said, let's explore this thought a little bit more and what can we do with this? So we called in a couple other friends, dot friends, a life coach, a CPA, an attorney, and a financial advisor. Because if somebody's going through a divorce or a life transition, who's the team of people around you that you need? So we thought about that, and through that, we created a program called the GIFT Program, which is Giving Information for Transition. Again, Jessica, thank you for the graphic.
I am not a graphic designer, by the way. This is just a hobby. That's not what I do. But, you know.
Pretty well for not doing that.
Yeah. No, she does a good job. But this has been a really powerful thing. So now, as a group, we go out and we're working with the Women's Resource Center and different meetups that we found of women going through loss of a loved one or a divorce. And now we are, as a team of women, we're going in and we're helping these other women out. It has been so powerful, and having these other women saying, it's so nice to have this support group around me. Because we come in there, and it's not about getting business from that person. It is about truly being a support system from somebody going through, another woman going through life transition that I may have never gone through, but someday if I have to, I want to know I have that support team there as well. Does that make sense? So one more thing I want to share about our chapter, and I think this one is the most powerful of all, was there's a member we have, also a mortgage lender, but she would one day during the new products, service, and events portion of the meeting, she shyly stands up and says, hi, my name's Deb, and I'm going to be doing this art show at a train station. See, in the East Coast, there's a lot of train stations. I don't know. In the Midwest, if you have that as much. No. So, an art show at a train station is a very normal thing. So she does this, and she says, if anybody's in the area, you want to come out. Like, she's very shy talking about this. So Sandy was like, hey, I'll be in the area. I like art. I'm going to go to the show. So she goes to the show. She loves Deb's art, buys a piece of art, and the way Sandy's mind thinks, like a lot of the dots think, forward thinking, she's like, I really want to help her promote this area because this is truly what she's passionate about, is tapping into people's passions. You do your job, but your passion is something different. So Sandy and Deb have now teamed up with Peggy Rowe, who will be here this weekend. You'll meet them. So when you see their names, you'll be like, I heard about you. So Peggy Rowe works at Horizon House. Horizon House helps homeless and battered women get back on their feet and get jobs. So Deb, in a few weeks, Deb's doing a big art show with all of her own art. A portion of the proceeds is now going back to the Horizon House, and Sandy is facilitating all this. So what I think is so powerful about this story is that, remember, Deb comes to Polka Dot to talk about her mortgage business. Like, that is what she does. So now that we've tapped into what her true passion is, you should see her walk in the room with like swagger. Now she's Deb Ford. She's coming in and she's a whole different person now. Her confidence level went up, everything, because we've tapped into this for her. So I want to show you. So at our 1-year anniversary, she painted this picture that now hangs in my office that she gave. Like, how cool is that? It's fun. So every day in my office, I look over and we have this really cool picture that Deb Floro did. I thought that was a great story. All right, so as we wind down here, I want to pass out
Oh, there you go. You're up,
I want to pass out
Jessica.
something tangible that everybody can take home with them to kind of remember our little time spent together here today. And I have my assistants helping.
Assistant.
Yeah, right?
Oh, look at this. We got a lot
I'm
here. Let's
tangled.
get doubles. One for black.
I thought we untangled.
It's right here.
Right? Not only are they eye patches, they're pink bedazzled eye patches. Right?
Yes, they're eye catchers. Katie, I have some other choices if you're missing anything there.
And if you can
Oh, man.
You should come join us.
Wait, that's more for you if you need them.
We gotta do some pictures. Pictures. Come on.
Yes,
I'm in it.
they're doing a picture, we're gonna do a picture.
I can't see the damn thing on my eye. Okay, this is a good one. Oh,
Alright.
Oh, let's go to glasses.
So it's the selfie light, so you can,
Oh.
yeah, right? So you look better in your
Great.
picture.
Yeah, I don't think
So I want to go back to everyone's attention still. It's kind of hard to do this.
it's hard to see.
Now you've lost them. You hit them.
I know. Okay. We'll do selfies after this, I promise.
We already did it.
All right, I want to bring it in. I really have a point to make. Okay.
Awesome.
That's really cute.
This is
So here's what it is. I talked about this earlier. The reason that pirates wear eye patches isn't because they lost an eye in a fight or whatever it is. It's because that's how they attack ships in the middle of the night, is they flip their eye patch over from wearing it all day, and you can see in complete dark.
Yep.
Ah, you didn't think you'd learn that here today, did you?
no.
So think about this. Think about all the connection, the collaboration that is happening in your chapter right now. Think about what's going on. Now literally the people that still have the eye patches on, flip them to the other side. And think about everything, okay, this is insane. Think about everything that's been in the dark, that's been there that you haven't seen. Like really open your eyes up to all the connections and the collaborations that are there. Got it?
Flip up, like,
Flip up Wednesdays.
There you go.
if I do two of them, I can have some class. There you go.
Yeah, so think about all the connections and the collaborations that are there, but because now you're connected to you and you're connected to the moment, you're really able to connect to the other person. And remember, it's not about promoting their products, it's about promoting the personal and professional growth of our membership. Right? Cool. So one thing, last thing. So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
my cool family here. All the pirates, right? Yeah, thank you. So back So in our best pirate voices, we're gonna say, weigh anchor, because that means let's go. Right? We're gonna get this room rocking a little bit.
Love it.
Ready? Come on, Jessica, you could do this. I always sound Irish when I say it, I don't know why. So ready? On 1, 2, 3, weigh anchor! I like it does that. One more time, ready? 1, 2, 3, weigh anchor! Alright, so this time we're going to do it so loud that the Q7 thinks we're under attack. Goonies are coming. We're going to say it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Weigh anchor! So very much for enjoying this time with me, because really what that was, we just connected, we just collaborated. I look forward to getting to know all of you over the next couple of days, and I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate what all of you do to bring polka dot to your communities, and what you represent with polka dot. It really means so much to me to have such a sisterhood out there. Because I have 2 older brothers. I have a story similar to Shannon's where girls did not like me growing up. Didn't have any girlfriends. And it was tough. And to me, now my mom's like, man, you're surrounded by all these girls, but never thought, because I didn't have that. So I related completely to your story today. So to have this out there, I'm forever grateful. I appreciate all of you, and keep rocking the dot.